acknowledge the powerful team growing out of this Orange Revolution. All of these beautiful, talented, powerful speakers that you heard tonight, that groundswell of knowledge, of heart, of passion, and civic mindedness that you saw in this gathering tells you what he asked for, what she asked for, what we all know we need is change from the ground up that could affect the top down. And we are going to do this as part of an Orange Revolution, this Orange Army. And I'd like to acknowledge all of them and give all of them a round of applause. Before I came here this evening, I was summoned. I got a lot of stuff. You know, Rowley and Rawi and them talk about their mailbox. I just get a lot of stuff. I have people's deed for one Woodbrook Place apartments. I have information on Cal, on 5 plane they buy. Nobody has seen the invoice. Nobody ain't getting any numbers. And I wanted to say, you know what? The politics of busing Mark, while it is entertaining, has done nothing for us. I could bad talk everybody. My tongue like a razor blade. If you're coming at me, you better know where to do it. If I want you, I can take you out with my words. But that's not what you want from me. I mean, I know I do a live video every night. We have hundreds of thousands of views now. We have 2 videos, both of which crossed 1 million views. Somebody called me and said, them is Beyonce numbers, brother. You're in the stratosphere. But we get in those numbers because we're dealing with issues at the level that people want to hear. We've had 55 years of them say, them do. We had it. It's easy. It's easy to stand up and bad talk. As Robert said, every prime minister has had feet of clay. Every single one. We know everybody's weaknesses. We can talk it to death. We have a rogues gallery of financiers and corrupt enrichment that has decimated and destroyed this country. This is a nation that had Dubai money. When you look at what Dubai has, and you look at what we have, you realize the size of the crime that has been done to the people of this country. And every election, we come to the same thing. I don't care how you do it, fixed crime. Lima lives in Belmont. I hope she doesn't mind me saying that. We had a meeting today in our headquarters at 19 Stanmore Avenue, which is 3 minutes walk from Belmont. She's driving from in Belmont. And the roads of Belmont today, because rain fell for an hour and a half, became a river. And there was a landslide on the Lady Young Road, so everybody used the little, if you know Belmont, the lanes in Belmont, small like this piece of paper. So everybody wanted to use Belmont, and it took her an hour and change to get to a place you could have walked if it wasn't raining and flooding and all the other bacchanal. And you know that flooding is a problem, and you know that the destruction of the infrastructure and the failure of institutions. We have a public service. And don't get me wrong if I say this, and not anything or not any one organization is all bad. But if anything could do with an undo and a redo, is the public service in Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody has ever, well really, I need to say this because of late, St. James licensing office and something in Sangre Grande and maybe something in Tunapuna, somebody might go in expecting to spend the day, and instead of spending the day, they get fixed up in 2 hours. So they'll come on Facebook and post, what should really take 15 minutes? But it took me 2 hours, so I want to celebrate. But it should take 15 minutes. When you go to transfer a car in licensing office, you give up 2 days of your life. Because no matter how well you sugar talk the man behind the check-in and whatever it is, have to check inside under your bonnet. To get past that and then go inside the office and line up till they call your car number and go and they pick up all piece of paper so, and then you go to line up in the line for the cashier, which always has 400 million people in it. And halfway there it reached that magical noonday hour. Cashier close. You wanna come back? For something, every single person in this room, I am willing to bet, has a Lynx card in your wallet or your bag for something that you could swipe. Get back the chip, go away. Give up another day. Our public service needs undoing and redoing. Flooding is not acceptable. It shouldn't be that when rain falls, the nations flood. Because we are talking, and people said earlier, thank God we are not as bad as Barbuda and all of the other countries that's suffering under the hurricane. But a feeder ban from Irma will destroy Trinidad and Tobago. We can't take that. We can't take that. Our planning, our layout of this nation, I asked people the other day, I said, look at Cocorite. We talk. Aisha, where is she? She said, Diego Martin is a hotspot. Diego Martin has no right to be a hotspot. But Diana said earlier, I want to make sure I credit you correctly this time, that nowhere should be a hotspot. You said that, right? Nowhere should be a hotspot in this country. Everywhere should be safe. And we know that the one critical issue that political parties beat like a boboli every election is crime. We will fix crime. We have to plan for crime. Come and fix crime. Crime will be solved. Over 5,000 people have been murdered in the last 10 years. Less than, I don't know. But over 5,000 people have been murdered in this country. And that is a correct question. Our interdiction and prosecution rates are a joke. But forget that for a minute. Why should 5,000 people have been murdered in this country? The third wealthiest country per capita in the Western Hemisphere. Why should that be our condition? And I want to say to Trinidad and Tobago, the reason the Progressive Empowerment Party is resonating the way it resonates is because everybody seems to understand that you can't fix crime until you address poverty. There are too many communities in this country with too many people suffering. We have too many walking wounded in Trinidad and Tobago. People who are ashamed of their circumstances, living a lie or in quiet desperation, hoping to make it through to another day in a country third wealthiest in the Western Hemisphere. How do you line those two things up? How do you get that to line up? How is it that in this country our money is so weak? How is it that it takes a day of work to buy what an hour of minimum wage in the States could afford, dollar for dollar? How does that work out that way? Why is everything here more expensive than everywhere else? So besides your dollar being weak in your pocket, to buy anything in Trinidad and Tobago is more expensive than if you went online and bought it. Yes? If every Trinidadian was allowed to bring down one car every 5 years, duty-free, without tax, like the senators and the oil and car company close down. Now David Shepard watch me hard there because he's in the car business. But I'm just saying that there needs to be a right sizing of this economy from the position of respecting the people. I could stand up here and tell you the sexiest amount of bullshit tonight, make you laugh, make you clap, but we walk away with nothing. If we do not address the issues of this country from a political point of view, if we don't stop the political backbiting and the nonsense, the divisive, racist foolishness, and start to address the issues that are so important to this nation, have been important to this nation since 1970. None of this is new. I do my videos at night. I play songs that are antiques. Some of the singers dead. And it's only after I tell people, after I play, they think that's 30 years ago. When Sparrow sang, "We Like It So," you never heard that song? The words of that song are as correct today as they were when he wrote it. When I was coming on, the DJ played a song called "Vote Them Out." And when you listen to the lyrics that Anthony Hernandez, wasn't it Deple, said in that song, he said it for 30 years ago, it is now 50 years ago, and it is still resonating. We have had election after election after election and solved nothing. Worse, between the recession of the 80s that decimated this country and handed McEnany Alstons to the Sabga family and that kind of stuff, it decimated Rostrog, Stevens and Johnson's, Woodward, Kapalani's, remember all those things on the landscape, all gone. That recession, between then and now, we've had a bigger boom and still have nothing to show for it. Nothing. We've done nothing. If we don't change how we do what we do politically, 20 years from now, we would have done nothing. Our education system is a joke. The Minister of Education says he is moving the SEA from May to March. Jackass, it is not the date. The exam don't work. The system doesn't work. Abolish the SEA. Make all schools 10-year schools. So children don't have to go through the child abuse that is the SEA exam. That is pure child abuse. We need to abolish it. When you make schools 10-year schools, that means your children will grow up from 5 to 15, critical age, with peers that will be friends for life. The SEA wrecks that. If you abolish the SEA and make all schools 10-year schools and zone all schools, traffic down. You ever notice when school closed, no traffic? So if you zone all the schools, if you're living in Dago, go to school in Dago. You're living in Marabal, go to school in Marabal. You're living in Sangre Grande, go to school in Sangre Grande. If you zone all the schools, traffic down. And then, to replace the SEA, we give each child a grade point average. We set a national average. Assume that is 4.0. So every term, we test the child to see how close they come to 4.0. And you as parent and them as child, together with teacher, understands, A, this child is doing better than 4.0, is hitting 4.0, or is missing 4.0 and needs attention. If you do that, the teacher in the class on a continuous assessment, together with parent every term, understands the position of that child in the learning curve and could identify what are the requirements to bring them up to the national average. If you have just that plan, all of those children in the class becomes the teacher's average, because the collective performance of all the children divided by the number of students in the class is also a number. So when you have all those classes having a number, the principal of the school gets a number. So you will know if St. Mary's College or St. James Secondary hit 4.0 or not. And if it didn't, you go to find out from the principal why you missed 4.0. And the principal could tell you, well, 7 of the 10 classes did 4.0, but these 3 missed. So you could go into those 3 classes and talk to the teachers. Everybody else had 4.0, but you didn't. Why? And they will tell you, all of these children did 4.0, but these 7 students. All of a sudden, you could manage, you could drill down, you could find where the problem is and apply solutions at a management level. All of a sudden, all of the schools in Trinidad and Tobago could become prestige schools. All of a sudden, all of the children have the same great chance at a functional education. And that is a very important way to address the poverty that is fueling crime. That one thing I have said, Keith Rowley, steal this idea. Do it. Do it now. Do it now. Fix education. But it's not education alone driving crime. People are working hard jobs, cannot get time with their families, cannot make ends meet. The cost of living in this country is ridiculous. And people, we Trinidadians have so much blasted pride. We in Massey, filling up the trolley, thinking about what I'm going to do without. Because I can't let nobody see that I'm suffering. But the cost of food in this country is ridiculous. If you compare what you pay for what's in your grocery cart with what somebody sent me a picture because they know that this is an issue I raise. And they sent me a picture and says, I just spent $190 US in a grocery. And it is a picture of the back of an SUV. They have to fold down the seats. It's just bags. For that amount of groceries in Trinidad, you will need a mortgage. And that's the truth. Because if you multiply 190 by 7, if you say $1,400, anybody here who goes to the grocery regularly know $1,400 can't buy you nothing. Can't buy you nothing. It's $60 for a bottle of laundry detergent. You think you bought away the shirt 4 times. I can't afford to wash it. 200 for Pampers, and then run around with no clothes. No, but it's true, and it's a fact, and it is sad, and it could be fixed because it could be fixed this way. We have so much arid, arable, fertile land in this country, going a begging, growing razor grass, being shared out for friends and financiers to put up cineplexes. They opening cineplexes at such a rate. Somebody posted once on Facebook. She said, it's your friend, Phillip, posted. She said, I could have lived my whole life thinking South Park and C3 was the same thing. 2 totally different malls. You could pelt a stone and hit one and hit the other one. Both of them open within a month of each other. All on caramel land. All on food land. People starving, suffering, can't buy food, and we taking food land and putting cineplexes. How many cinema do we really need in this country? When you're driving to approach Shagwanas, how many new strip malls you see opening by the day? This country needs to make food self-sufficiency, food independence our first mission. There is no better independence than food independence. The people we import our food from, if for whatever reason, hurricane, war, whatever, and they can't supply, what will we eat? Do you know that the majority of the vegetables and the fruits that you see, that you think that are growing here, coming from up the islands? Go on the Caribbean Jetty and see where your Julie mango and your avocado and thing coming from. It will be buying from Trinidad. Our breadfruit not coming from here, our soursop not coming from here. This arrows and go over, just don't give us a list of things. But if we had a government that really cared, and you see, you need to understand, it is either both the PLM and the UNC are stupid. It's either that, or companies are paying them to not grow food. Because it is counterintuitive. Clarence Rambarat used to work for Caroni. And he is the Minister of Agriculture now. And for 2 years, all he planned that I know of is a hedge in front of Bally's house. And he used to work for Caroni. So he understands how this is done. And the United National Congress, which is a blueprint copied and pasted from the United Labour Front, a sugar party, was built on agriculture. They were supposed to represent the farmers. We don't have anything like a food policy coming out of the United National Congress. The Progressive Empowerment Party suggests that all farmland be vested in a marketing agency. Call it a central marketing agency, if you will. All farmland be vested in that organization and parceled out to farmers 1 acre at a time, with a dedicated and designated crop to be grown. All of the support that the farmer needs, all of the security to protect against perennial larceny, all of the water and whatever support they need, and at the harvest, the state, through that central marketing agency, has already agreed to buy the plantain, the plums, the pumpkin, the pineapple that you're growing at an agreed price. And that will be distributed nationally through wholesale and retail marketing systems that will bring the price of food down through the ground. So you just solve education and you just solve the cost of living. Keith Rowley steal this idea. But you can't live in a country and work this hard and spend your whole life wanting to have a stake in your country and cannot get one. There are people who are working jobs making $15,000, $20,000 a month, cannot afford to buy a home. The threshold for a mortgage is ridiculous. And the prices of a house compared to the salaries is outside of everybody's reach. We have so many organizations, including a home mortgage bank, unit trust, and a First Citizens Bank, that are sitting on billions of dollars. I told Trinidad and Tobago, the money that we took and gave to Clico to bail them out, that $25 billion could have built 100,000 houses. Imagine if that is what we had done with that money instead, and given it to all the people. I'm not just talking poor people there. I am talking about the working middle class who cannot afford to buy a home. Make it possible for them to own a home, because if you make home ownership a priority, if as a government you say, for every first-time homeowner, I will make available to you up to $1.5 million financing, zero deposit, zero interest for 30 years, so that your mortgage threshold would be under $500 per $100,000. All of a sudden, a minimum wage earning family could afford to buy a home, raise their children in the community that they're going to school and growing up with their peers, knit the community together and save Trinidad and Tobago with just one policy. Make home ownership a reality for everybody. If you could say that that is your policy, you would have right-sized this country all by itself. Because a nation is a collection of communities. If we fix the community, we fix the country. Home ownership. When I said that on Hema Ramkissoon's show 10 years ago, Kamala was in office. I said, come, let's steal this idea. They had one of their Monday Night Madness the same time. She announced it that night. We are doing this. Call members, stand up and say the next day, we had an idea first. Neither of them do it yet. Political chatter. Plenty talk. They're lying to you because they know that all they need to do is say it. The media need to print it so that you can buy it and all of us forget about it. That can't continue. People said to you tonight, you need to wake up and get involved. And I must say, and I am proud of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because I have been witnessing a waking up of the people in this country. And it is because of that super fast Galatian, the madness that went on the port, will bring this government down. The people are not taking foolishness anymore. And I like that. We need to go one step further. It is fashionable to attack me, to attack the PEP. I have no problem with that. When you cross the line, Devish Mirage and Company, Athena Chambers, them on retainer. We making money sewing fools now. But I have no problem. If you don't like me, but you address the policies that we proposing, acknowledge it, take it, advocate for it, if what you care about is your country. But if you're fighting me just for fighting me's sake, you're a sycophant and a fool, and of no benefit to nobody in the conversation. But I have to leave that and move on. This political organization, in its infancy, is drawing more people than most other parties have ever dared draw outside of an election season. This is organic. When the PNM and the UNC have their meetings, the people are paid to attend. Those of you who came out tonight of your own volition, the ladies from San Fernando, I know, I see, and I understand. Some of you, Vanessa, she said she drives into Flanagan Town. I don't even know where that is. But I went far. And the reason we are doing this, despite all of the stress of doing this, because it's very easy. Our entire Saturday today was meetings. Just not only planning this, planning the phenomenal growth of this party, because it is growing. And they are noticing. But we do this every 2 weeks. Straight out of here, 2 weeks from tonight, we're in Mamaral again. Apologies to the people of Mamaral. I don't know where that is, but I will see it in 2 weeks' time. We've been to Barrack, we've been to Point Fortin, Santa Cruz, Chaguanas, San Fernando. We're touring the nation. Tunapuna. Now we're in Diego Martin West. We go in Mamaral. Then we come in St. Anne's West to put Churchill Nightmare in office. I just need to work with you. Right. But education, home ownership, the cost of living. Imagine if you had a government that came into power and dealt with those things. You think you would care how much rum Camel are drinking? Or how much people wrongly whining on? You wouldn't care. Because you could have a life. You could afford to have a life. You could live, work, own a home, feed your family, educate your family. Imagine if you ever had a government come into power capable of understanding and addressing the national issues important to you. 4 weeks ago, I go to the gym in that Starlight Shopping Plaza there. 4 weeks ago, I left. And I was on my way to go and get something to eat. My brother-in-law called me and said, Phillip, there's been a massive accident on Crystal Street. People are here on the side of the road. And we call the ambulance a half hour now and nobody come in and I need help. And I go. And it is a stone throw from the fire station. And there are people who are lining up and taking breaks, pumping this woman's chest and trying to keep her alive. 45 minutes it took for an ambulance to get to a place where if they had allocated the ambulances where they are supposed to be in the fire station, it would have reached for her in 3 minutes and taken her to hospital. She died. That is somebody's daughter, girlfriend. That was a human being that got in an accident and died. And somebody said earlier, we have gotten so good at blaming the victims that it is not. We've lost our compassion. So somebody said maybe they were speeding. Somebody else said maybe they was drinking. What the hell is that your concern? Somebody died waiting on an ambulance. And the Progressive Empowerment Party tells you, imagine hope. Imagine a country where there are 41 healthcare centers built in each of the 41 constituencies. 24/7. Accident and emergency. Minor surgery suite. Dedicated ambulance with ambulances allocated to all the fire stations in the country. Now all of a sudden, any medical emergency, because the four things that you need to be able to deal with as an accident and emergency in Trinidad: gunshot, accident, break bone, chop. Once you could deal with them kind of thing in your accident and emergency, heart attack. You're supposed to be able to stabilize a heart attack. In the United States of America, Canada, and England, they talk about a magic 15 minutes. 15 minutes. The ambulance that comes to pick you up is not just transport. We have no ambulance, transport only. You should name them NATO. They come to you as drivers, transporting you to hospital. In the United States, Canada, England, Finland, Sweden, Switzerland, all the countries that work, the paramedics on board begin immediately to treat you. They begin to address on the phone call. When you call and you say, he get bite by a snake, he break his arm, he get chopped, he get shoot, he have a heart attack. They know what to pack and come. Better yet, they know who to send. When Gary Griffith was the Minister of National Security, we created something called the National Operations Center. And in the National Operations Center, we had screens. And it still exists, but they mothballed it to bring back salt. But this was first world thinking. Because on those screens, you could have looked at any time and know where every single police car and every single ambulance in the country was, to find the one closest to you in an emergency. Why did we turn that off? We need to turn it back on. Imagine that for a minute. Imagine hope for a minute, that you're living in a country all of a sudden that you could buy a home and properly educate your children and afford to feed them. And emergency healthcare is minutes away regardless of emergency. Would that be a country you would want to live in? The last thing on our magic five, is security of the person. Who sitting here does not know Trinidad and Tobago is a globally acknowledged narcotic state? I have spoken to pilots who have used the term making holes in the air. We're making holes in the air, looking down on a drug boat, calling for backup from the Coast Guard, and they're telling us take video. The helicopters to interdict because it is minutes from the Orinoco to the south coast. The helicopters to interdict are parked in the north of Trinidad when they should be in the south of Trinidad. Who is the monkey mechanic that came up with that plan? They carry an hour and a half flight time of fuel. An hour of that is getting this out and getting back. So they have half hour in the theater. And then you have so many hours of flying time that you can fly. And after that you can fly no more as a person, as a pilot. So why aren't the helicopters based in South? Let's stick a pin in that for a minute. We need a maritime security apparatus that prevents people from driving up any river and up onto any beach with whatever they please. Because besides cocaine, they could bring a nuclear bomb. They're doing what they want. The Prime Minister said to this nation, he estimates there are 30,000 illegal guns in this country. And after that statement, said nothing about what he's doing to stop the guns coming in the country. On January 17th, when this party was launched, I said that the Minister of National Security, Edmund Dillon, said that he is he's sure 57 of our women were trafficked. But he didn't say how he knows that. He didn't say where he thinks they are. He didn't say what was being done to stop women being trafficked in this country, or what was being done to bring those 57 women home. Because we live in a country where they just have to say 57 women trafficked. In a country that has gotten so good at blaming the victim, somebody posted on Facebook, if you go missing, it's better you turn up dead. Because if you come back home, they go bad talk you. She was out when she man. You see always talk about our people when they go missing. A maritime security wall, 6 repurposed oil barges equipped and outfitted for the interdiction with fast attack boats, fast attack interceptor boats and helicopters, helicopter landing pads, connected by a 360-degree radar, would intercept anybody coming into Trinidad, stop and search for the next 10 years. Whatever you are, container ship to pleasure craft, stop and search. And if they don't stop, blow them on the water. The same Prime Minister said 40% of the containers that come into this country, shipping containers, are not checked. But you know 57 people are being trafficked, and you know we have 30,000 illegal guns in an internationally acknowledged narcotic state. The Progressive Empowerment Party advocates for the relocation of the port of Spain to a facility 5 times its size in Point Lisas, where the law should be unstuff all the containers on the port, so none getting through. So if you unstuff all the containers and you have a maritime security wall so that no pleasure craft or no cargo ship or nobody could be smuggling anything into the country, then you've stopped the drugs and the guns from coming in. So you've dried up the funding for the gangs. And now you only have to deal with Dr. Rowley's 30,000 guns. And we say for 3 months, set aside $13 million and tell law enforcement, Coast Guard, police and soldiers, we will pay you $1,000 for each illegal firearm that you get and bring and drop into a smelter. You have to melt it because they're bright. They will bring it, recirculate it and bring it back. So we have to make sure that we melt it. But we pay them $1,000 per gun. So now police officers who catch in their tail can make money. Rent a van, bring in guns by the thousands and make all their money. And after those 3 months, because we will let the people know, after these 3 months, there will be zero tolerance on illegal firearms. If you are found with an illegal firearm, go directly to jail. It will end the crime, the drug trafficking, the gun trafficking, the human trafficking. All of a sudden, this country where everybody lives in fear, where people stay home hungry rather than risk going out for a hamburger because you're sure you're making it home safe. If you solve crime and bring the price of food down and make education a possibility for everybody, provide adequate health care, and make home ownership a reality for every citizen of this country, this would be a nation anybody would live. Those 5 things are our pillars. There are other things they tell you: recall, referendum, campaign finance reform, term limits. We want to undo and redo, shut down all the special purpose companies, put the National Insurance Property Development Company, National Insurance Board, return it to its remit. No longer should you be deducting money from people's salary and using it to finance discotheques around the savannah. That must stop. So we put national insurance money back in national insurance. We shut down Sport TT and Unicot and Education Facilities Company and EMBD. All of these companies were set up to raid the treasury. And it has been stealing billions of dollars from this country. And we just shut them down and replace them with a robust and transparent tenders committee. That is possible. So now they could no longer steal your money. Because the ministry that need to get 100 trucks, not responsible for issuing the contract to supply 100 trucks. Worse, we say decentralized decentralize the power of cabinet to the constituency level. We've spoken to you enough times to tell you how the police service is broken down, how the RHAs and the local government is set up does not line up with the constituency map. You have 4 different maps and none of them adding up. Shut down the THA, the RHAs, shut down local government, undo and redo the police service, create constituency boards of supervisors. Each constituency will be funded to take care of its own business, public works, public utilities, health, education, security, supervisors for each, making up a board, funded to take care of the business. So if your road's bad in David Martin West, you know who to go to. Because he has the funding and the job to do it. All of a sudden, the country starts to work. Wassa, we treat water like it is magic. Every single day you hear people complaining, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, no water. In a world where, and the Minister of Public Utilities, before they fired him, went on Hamer and was so impressed that every day in England he could turn on his tap and see water. But in Trinidad, we can't do that. We say Wassa should be in the business of collecting and transmitting bulk water and put the responsibility for purification and distribution to the home in the constituency, so that you could use micro-purification plants. And where Wassa cannot get water to you, you could dig a well, you could desalinate, or you could pump it in. But everybody should be able to get pure water. And tea and tech too. And we have as a policy, no contractor from outside your constituency. So the people who paving the roads in your constituency are hiring people within your constituency, attacking crime, attacking poverty, putting our people to work, drilling the money right down into. There are so many of these things that we talk about that we call reboot the republic. And this is the message that we're trying to take out there. But look at this. Look at you tonight. If 3 people stand up by Central Bank with a cardboard sign tonight, CNC3, TV6, and the rest of them don't get covered it. Every 2 weeks, this political party has a public meeting. And every 2 weeks, the media are invited. And every 2 weeks, the media breaks the law. Constitutionally, they have a responsibility to be here. And they're not. This nation is broken at a level that only a citizen intervention could fix. And that is what the Orange Army is. That's what this Orange Revolution is. I am already at a place in my life where I'm tired. I don't need no job. I don't need no contract. When they tell you that I have said that there's an election January 17, 2018, it's already carved in stone. Anybody else could be the political leader of this party. My job is to sell these ideas, these plans, these programs, these policies, principles that would undo and redo and reboot this country to make it possible for every citizen, regardless of how low or how high, to have the same chances at a proper, successful life. That's what I am for. You have a responsibility too, to take these messages and to get involved and to spread the word that there is an opportunity for change. That the continued nonsense of PNN, UNC rape of this country has to end. The mismanagement has to end. The corruption has to end. It is not rocket science. If you dig up Western Main Road from Kokori to Caranage, it's not rocket science to pave it back. We need to fix that. We need to fix this country. We need no more stories of murder. No more stories of human trafficking and drug trafficking and homelessness and vagrancy and crime. All of these things have to end. We have a vision for a nation where you could take the wrought iron off your house and throw it in the sea. We have a vision for a nation where every creed and race could really find an equal place. And we hope that if you have that vision too, that you come on board with us and help us reboot the republic and build a better Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you. Woo!